It's Friday night. It's 10 o'clock. Nothing gets past me. And a very, very warm welcome to our TikTok and to our internet phone-in. Massive stuff. And there we are. We're live on LinkedIn, on Twitch, on TikTok, on Facebook, and we're welcoming everybody on Twitter as well. Good evening, Scotty. Happy Friday, says the wonderful Drewski from Ontario in Canada. Dinky-Doo, lovely to have you with us. And a very, very warm welcome, I say to you, Drewski. Tremendous stuff. Now then, lots to talk about, so little time to do it in. So there we go, and we'll get sorted. Fantastic stuff. Hang on a second. Oh, there we go. Now, we'll sort that, and I'll have to sort this out as well. Tremendous stuff. What's going on here, I ask you? There we go. Right, we're going to do a little bit of sorting out here and see if we can put a stop to all this noise that's going on. My goodness me. What are we to do with you, I say? Give us a call as soon as you possibly can, and we will get sorted. I'm just working away at something here. Will just be a second. So there we go. Lovely, lovely, lovely. That's fantastic. That's good stuff. There we go. And we'll do that there. And that's you there. Wonderful. Right. That should be getting sorted out now, guys. Lovely to be with you. And Dinky-Doo, I say. You're live in Scotty's phone-in. Who's that? Hold on a second. We can't hear you. Just give me a little bit of a second till I see what's going on here. Now then. Right, and right. That's wonderful. There we are. Hang on. Just be with you in a second. There we are. Don't dash off, Kareem. You know what it's like on here. You dash off, you can't get back on again. I say to you. There we are. Right. Hello.
Hello, Scotty. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. That's fantastic. We have to check everything out when something like that happens. I could hear you ringing, but I couldn't get to you, if you know what I mean.
Yes, these things happen, don't they?
Oh, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Now then, what's happening tonight, I say to you?
Just a couple of wee things. The first thing is that just your thoughts on about the Queen. She's been told to rest for 2 weeks now.
Yes, I'm slightly concerned, obviously. Because, you know, I mean, although having said that, she really was working very hard. You see, she'll also do her red boxes. So she's probably up very early in the morning and perhaps maybe quite late to bed at night.
Yes.
So I think, you know, at 95, in her 96th year, I think she perhaps should be taking things a bit easier.
Yes. They said that she's to just do work from her desk. But just to rest basically for the next 2 weeks.
Yes, and just get her strength back. But think about it, Kareem. I mean, you're a school teacher. You know what it's like. End of term, you think, oh, I need to just give myself a break here.
I feel that now.
Aye, absolutely. I mean, I think everybody feels it when the winter comes in. You think, you know, you go, oh, is that the time at 6 o'clock in the morning? You know.
I know. I think it's a remarkable age that she's still working and doing so much.
Yes. I mean, I think we've got to look at the positive side, but I am a little bit concerned that, you know, because they'll be making sure they play it down a bit. You know,
and she could have a cold or just like a wee infection.
A wee chest infection or a wee touch of bronchitis. You know what I mean? And these things are very debilitating, as you know.
Yeah, at this time of the year as well, with the colds going around, etc. So
yes, all that, and let's be honest, she's also been bereaved very recently.
Yes,
and she will probably be missing Prince Philip's input.
Yes, that will have a very big psychological effect on her. You know, the change.
Well, just that. I mean, you know, I'm not saying latterly she would discuss everything with him, but they would no doubt maybe phone a couple of times a day and have a little chat. And she might run some stuff past him and he might make a comment on it and that stuff because, you know, he was there as support all of her working life. You know, so that all that sort of stuff. I mean, stacks and stacks of different things. So I don't think it's a time for panic, but I think it's a time for caution.
Yes, yeah, just wish I could to get well soon.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Lovely to have you with us. Now, what else were you thinking?
There was another two wee things. Another
Uh-huh.
one was the. Do you not think it's very? I mentioned this last night. It was quite hypocritical that we've got COP26 starting on Sunday,
Yes.
and the UK government, Boris Johnson, has organised this for Scotland, and yet when they have decided to put rubbish, sewage into the streams and rivers, and I actually showed you a picture earlier on, and it was disgusting.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. I mean, as I said last night, all of Scotland was like that at one point.
Yes, but do you not think that's hypocritical that they're promising we're going to make the environment so much better, and then they're doing the total opposite?
Well, the whole thing is, you see, what I find interesting is the media is wanting now to get away from just being stuffed full of the pandemic. So the mainstream media is thinking, what next? So we've got a climate change emergency. Now, if it had been so much of an emergency, I mean, this is something, I mean, the Earth has been warming up for millions of years.
Yeah.
So we know that because we don't any longer have the ice age. So we know the Earth's been warming up. Now, we also know that 150 years to 200 years of industrial revolution would be quite a pollutant. Yes, and some countries are just getting into what we were getting into a couple of hundred years ago.
Yeah.
You know,
China would be one.
Yes.
I think they're the biggest culprit.
China and perhaps Russia.
Yeah.
Our dear friends in Russia. So suddenly to be going, no, it's an emergency, as if to say, if this isn't sorted by tomorrow, the Earth's gone. You know, and the other thing that we don't get to hear is to what extent the Earth has the facility and the ability to replenish itself, to revitalize itself, to heal itself. There's somebody saying global warming is all just BS. It's no big deal.
Wow, that's a lack of education.
Yeah, I think that is a lack of education there. What's the badge on your Glengarry? That's my own badge.
Ah, right. Well, if you look at when we started lockdown, Scottie, and if you look up and down the country when everybody was locked in the house, you've seen that pollution decreased and things are starting to improve.
Well, so you look across the sky in Scotland of a morning when all the planes were flying, and there was a crisscross of jet trails. You know, now that's fuel.
Yeah.
You know, that's kerosene, I think.
Yeah.
And it takes a fair bit of kerosene to get one of these big beasts up in the air.
Yeah.
So with none of them flying, big difference. With nobody driving, big difference.
Yeah. And you've seen how quick that things were starting to change. So if they did, I think if they did do a lot of the things that they're saying they're going to do and within reason, then I think there will be a lot of positive changes. But like when we're talking about those heat pumps at the side of the house that cost £5,000 here and something else, a few hundred there, realistically, families are not going to be able to afford that.
No, that's the problem, you know, and I think if the government want us to change, it shouldn't be a problem for them to say, just give everybody a heat pump then. You know, and we'll cover that. Here's some very interesting things, feedback-wise, Kareem. I really struggle to eat a meal in the morning. That's my choice. The earth will be fine. It's humans that will suffer. Romans 12:21. I know you're not a Bible man, Kareem, but Romans 12:21. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. Now that's my kind of talking. You know, that is my kind of talking here. And are you saying you've never been in a car or an aeroplane, says Apple user? Of course I've been in a car and an aeroplane, Apple user. Most folk have.
Yeah.
You know, silly questions, as if saying, oh, maybe it's Scottie McClue's fault for driving. The Earth's on defrost since when the meteor hit the Earth, says First Signal. Watching from the Philippines. Good morning, everyone. Tuning in from Sheffield as always, my friend. Isn't that lovely?
Absolutely. The last wee quick point, Scott, before I go, was last night, for me anyway, in Mearns, was the first that I had quite a lot of fireworks. Because my dogs started to let me know straight away that they were hearing fireworks and were quite nervous. So I think now, up till next week, weather permitting every night, I think it'll be the start now that animals, elderly people with support needs are going to be really starting to get affected now.
Yeah, it's such a shame. It really is, because there's actually no need for it. You know, November the 5th, bonfire night, that's it, game over. You know, that's what we should be looking at. Here's Big Shindo. Good and evil are only a matter of perspective. I can see where you're coming from, but good and evil are very, very real. I suffered from one very evil person.
Yes.
You know, so I mean, no, good and evil are very, very real. I have to tell you there. The Earth was a tropical planet before the meteor hit Earth, putting us into an ice age, says First Signal. How very, very interesting, Kareem.
Yeah, because the sun was blocked out from the Earth for about 2 years. So
Yes.
the Earth completely cooled down. So that would be the case. But once, obviously, when that's settled, it all changed again.
Now, Kareem, as you know, we never stand still here. And last night, I've added Twitter as a platform. Now, I don't know if you've got a Twitter account.
I don't have to. I tried it for 5 minutes and it wasn't for me.
It wasn't for you, no problem at all. If anybody's got a Twitter account, do me a big favor, go on to @Scottie McClue, follow me and tell me if you can see anything from the internet phone in.
I like the Facebook, aka Meta, and I like TikTok, and I do like the YouTube as well.
And we like the YouTube. Excellent. Bless you, Kareem. Lovely talking to you. I shall put all these subjects to not just one nation, but every nation in the world.
To all nations. Thank you, Scottie.
Thank you, do, sir. Good night. God bless. Ta-ra, Kareem. What a fine, fine fellow, our Kareem. We do like that. There we are. Tremendous stuff. Now then, to the telephones. You're live on Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
Good evening, Scottie. Dinky-Doo.
Dinky-Doo. Who's that, Jerry?
You're live on Scottie's phone in. Sorry, Scottie. I was two things. Just wanted to just check with you there.
Yes, sorry. Who's that? You need to tell me who it is.
Sorry, Scottie. It's Charlie.
Charlie, I thought it. Yes, I thought you were familiar there. I was just trying to grasp who it was.
Good evening, Dinky-Doo. Just your question there about Twitter. I'm on Twitter just now, and I can see everything. You know, you're live on Twitter.
Wow, is the video up, Charlie?
It is, Scottie.
Absolutely. Good. And is anybody joining us? Can you see?
I can't really see it. Well, people are commenting, Scottie. People are sharing.
Excellent.
So yes,
that's what we want, Charlie. That is absolutely fantabulous. You are very kind.
Yes, thank you.
Because I can't see everything on here, if you know what I mean.
Exactly. I mean, you're multitasking already.
Multitasking like a madman.
Yes, absolutely. And one wouldn't expect, you to have all these tabs opened, etc., and seeing all these things. So yes, I understand.
You understand? Otherwise, we'll have no room in the screen for the people, you know.
Absolutely. Do you have a second screen, Scottie?
Well, we could actually start splitting things and all sorts of stuff, but I'd just like to keep it simple, Charlie, because it means we can get down to actually getting the conversations rather than me giving it, hang on a second, just a wee minute, here we go, all that stuff.
Absolutely, Scottie. And the more screens you have, the more 50 pences you need as well.
Absolutely. What a top man. Charlie, lovely to hear you. I hope you're enjoying the phone in.
I am, Scottie. I just want to speak to you just a couple of things.
Yes, do.
First of all, with regards to the budget this week, Scottie.
Yes.
I think, with the UK, well, obviously Glasgow hosting the COP26, I thought the timing of the budget to say that, travelling between Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, etc., would be cheaper taxation on these flights. I thought it sent a bad message, the timing. I don't think.
Yes, I mean, it's a strange thing to do, to say we can make flying a lot easier for you, and then we'll have to go and sort out the climate change.
Yes. I thought, what would have been probably easier. I mean, obviously, the rail has spent so much money in making them electrified, etc. And then at least, to say, well, you get a £10 discount if you travel by rail.
Yes, absolutely. Although the big floods down in the borders, apparently there's no trains at the moment between Dumfries and Carlisle.
Yes, but then that's where the electric buses can come in, and we can discuss that at the COP26 to say this is what's happening in Scotland, this is how we dealt with it, and actually, show ourselves as an example to, other countries.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. Good point, Charlie. So you think start to get everybody onto the public transport again?
Absolutely, yeah.
I'll tell you, the man that was responsible, and he was a Tory, was Dr. Beeching in 1965. Completely ruined this country.
I see.
And to be honest with you, when you look, I know we love to have conservative governments. This country adores them. And I'm apolitical, so I'm not knocking them in any way. But what really does upset me is that when you look at the Conservative record, you look at terrific damage being done to the infrastructure and to the ordinary people's lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it was lovely, lovely. When I was a wee boy, you could have a day out on the railways. When I was 9, my 11-year-old cousin and I, he was an absolute railway freak. And the two of us went to see how many stations we could take in.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though, isn't it, Scottie? Because, I mean, obviously, a boy's kid's toy really would have been, a train set, so there would have been a passion for the trains,
Oh, I had a Hornby Dublo.
Oh, nice.
And my father did a lovely thing. He got a big piece of chipboard, a great big board, and he made 2 trestles for it, and he painted it green, and he drilled down with a mechanical control box, and he put the wires underneath the table and then up and into the rails. And then we got a wee LMS engine and 2 carriages.
Spoiled.
Oh, absolutely ruined. I mean, the whole thing was probably maybe 24 and 6.
The thing is as well, though, Scottie, I do want to, hopefully I'm okay to say the name, Peter Waterman. He's a great train enthusiast.
Yes.
He's done documentary, he's done TV shows about it. I think he's even bought, one of the old steamers, etc.
Yes.
He's in, that type of thing. And also like convert the loft into a train station type thing.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, we used to go up I had a neighbour and he had just got the lot. He used to spend most of his money on it. And it was just fabulous to watch several trains running at the one time, going up sidelines, all sorts of things.
Yes, it's a great hobby. That
swapping the points and reversing back up the line.
Yeah, I would say it's certainly a great hobby.
We sets of buffers, cows, sheep, the lot.
Yes, absolutely. Cities, wee switches where it would, blocks of flats would light up. How far could you take it?
Well, this is the whole thing. You could take it anywhere. Tunnels, go through the wall into a room and back out again.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you what also we had. My auntie gave me a Royal Mail coach. And you hung a little mail bag up on the station platform, and something tripped and a little hatch opened and scooped up the wee mail bag.
Yeah, there we are. And the thing is as well, though, Scottie, I mean, I think if the train enthusiasts have got like a copy of the Channel Tunnel, that might be getting close. So they might need to.
Oh, for goodness sake, that's the next thing. There we are.
The other thing I just wanted to
go on, Charlie. Yes,
was about the protesters, the Insulate protesters. Scottie, I think we need to be looking at this in terms of the fines that are being issued, and I think we need to increase the fines, quite significantly, because for people not being able to get their fathers to medication, etc., and
Yes.
people not getting to work, and parents not being able to take their kids to school, given the year that we've had. Yes, we're very lucky that we live in a democracy and we can stand up and be counted, but I think there's a huge difference when, they try and stop industry and the society running, and trying to get ourselves back on our feet. So I think, dramatically increase these fines and make it so that you need to pay, say for example, £10,000, and you need to pay it within a year. And if you don't pay it in a year, then your house might be at risk, etc. I think something needs to be done more dramatically.
Something must be done. And I'll tell you, the thing about these protesters, I'm sure they're very conscientious, but they're not thinking about the people that they're actually harming.
Exactly. Absolutely.
And I can't really, I mean, these people, apparently, I heard today on radio that apparently some of them are prepared to die for the cause.
Most people when you're protesting, they believe in, they get a passion for what they believe in. So, most people would, they would do in that sense. But I think, if you think, if it's a main road, it's a main carriageway, and they're there, and somebody's trying to get a power card to try and heat their house, etc.
And I mean, what if it caused a terrible accident? Say somebody didn't see them in a dark morning and ran into them, and that caused, and then everybody piled into the back of that person.
Exactly. The other thing is, again, just to finish, Scottie, is that they were actually walking in between fast-moving traffic and the motorway. How they got, between lanes, etc., is something else. But to think that if you're driving at, 60, 70 mile an hour and you see somebody there ahead of you, you panic, Well,
you can't. And also, if the motorway is wet and you slam on, you could lose control.
Absolutely, aquaplane, yep. Absolutely.
And then everybody loses control. And, the water that we've seen in central Scotland in the last 2 or 3 days has been just shocking.
Absolutely, Scottie. Well, Scottie, DINKY-DOO, I'll leave you because I know you'll be stap at food.
We're stap at food, Charlie, but we've always got time for quality calls like yourself, sir.
Thank you very much, Scottie, and good evening, Scottie, and I'll leave you with that, okay?
And DINKY-DOO, thank you very much, Charlie. Fantastic stuff. That's our Charlie. Excellent call. Marvellous stuff. Thank you for that. Now, lots and lots of wonderful comments from you guys on the TikTok. So let's just see what's going on here. There's no such thing as evil. It's just an absence of good. It's like darkness. No such thing. Hello, Scottie. We're watching in County Down. The meteorites wiped the dinosaurs out. So there we go. Right, we better answer this phone. You're live on Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
Hi, Scottie. It's David. How about you?
Oh, David, what a joy to hear from you.
I've been really busy, son.
No, but son, don't you worry about that. Everybody's been asking about you. That's the thing.
Okay, that's fine, son.
They've all been going, do you hear from David? Is David all right, Scottie? Have you been in touch with David, Scottie?
That's good. I heard Derek last week about something about, was it Margaret Thatcher or something?
Yeah. He was wanting a statue in George Square, a life-size statue of Margaret Thatcher in George Square.
But I'm not being funny. I mean, you would actually chip away it, wouldn't you? We'll chip away it.
I think the problem is if you did put that up there, it might come to there might be a bit of external damage.
Of course. Again, the last caller was really good about roads and everything and traffic, because I'm concerned in my street, there's lights out and I phoned the council and they said it'll take 60 days before they put lights in my street.
Oh, for goodness sake.
60 days, and I said...
That's 2 months.
I mean, oh, come on. What's happening here? Because I've got also pavement working on with the new broadband.
Yes.
The council on the pavements.
Yes.
Right? And I've got a wee friend who's blind in one eye.
Yes.
She's got... But obviously we pick up in the car. Right, Scottie? That's not the point.
And you don't want to be taking a tumble.
It's terrible, Scottie, right? It's disgusting.
It's hard enough as it is, but I mean, so the state of the roads and the pavements like the third world.
Yes, it's awful in my street. It just lights outside my window and it's pure black, right? And I always feel like all down the stairs weeks ago. But anyway, that's all wrong. They're all corrupted, you know.
I know, absolutely. We'll need to get, like, do you remember the miners used to have lamps on their hat?
Yeah.
Well, we should maybe all get ourselves a miner's hat with a lamp.
Exactly, but I've got to get torches, you know.
Yes.
But this one night I thought about my torch, and I knew that because I've got a lot of stairs out to my front door, you see.
Yes.
So I need to go down the stair outside the bloody door.
I know, well, this is the problem. This is a problem. I know it's and the hazards, and then when the ice comes, we'll have the leaves next week.
Yeah.
And then we'll have the ice.
Oh, it's crazy, do you know what I mean? And there's climate change. But I didn't see the climate change. Do you think they can change that by talking about it?
Well, I don't know how much you see they can really want, if they're serious about cutting the carbon, you really need Mr. Putin and you need the Chinese leader round the table.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't come.
No, well, that's the thing. Well, I mean, you wouldn't come either, you know, if somebody says, listen, we're looking for somebody that's putting out smoke that's dirty in the windows. And you say, could you find out? You wouldn't go along yourself if it was you that was dirty in the windows.
No, of course. I mean, the other day, it was on the news that the country was at China somewhere, or the smoke in China.
Aye, but you see, these leaders aren't wanting to be humiliated by the likes of our Boris and that lot, you know.
I mean, I couldn't survive that smoke. I would pass away because I've got COPD.
Well, you see, the problem is, absolutely, David, and we touched on that last week, and we talked about breathing and your lungs and what have you, but I can remember smogs in Glasgow, and you couldn't see. I was coming along Argyle Street one night in a smog, and I thought, I don't know which way I'm heading.
That's bad, isn't it, Scottie?
I didn't know if I was heading towards the central station or out to the Trongate.
Yes, there you go, Scottie. I mean, you know, it's really. I told you a few years ago, I had pneumonia. I had a pus in my liver. That's because of smoke.
Oh.
Glasgow City Centre.
Not so good. No, the smogs. You used to be able to see. I mean, people died of them in days gone by.
Oh, it's horrible, Scottie. You got me in time.
Especially when all the factories were smoking and the houses were all smoking.
Oh, yes, it's mad.
And if you got low cloud that kept that down at ground level, people couldn't breathe. I remember a friend of mine telling me she had a new Macintosh coat in the 1960s. And she was wearing it for the first time when she got home. It was all yellow.
That's the thing. This smoke causes yellow.
Yes.
Oh, it's horrible.
Awful. Very acid as well. Lots of carbon in it.
Oh, it's awful.
And then the steamships, I can remember my grandfather telling me in the early 1960s, the steamers had been told no more black smoke.
No. I mean, look at your Kingston Bridge in Glasgow City Centre. Now, when I stayed there, you know, I was right up, I was the high flats facing on that, right? And every morning you open your windows, and then one day I decided, don't do this because I seen what happened to my body. I was in hospital as a 60. And somebody's got to change, but Scottie, I think it might be too late. I don't know.
Well, no, I don't think it's ever too late. I mean, if it's too late, then we've all had it anyway.
I hope no.
But it's never too late. It's a bit like giving up smoking. It's never actually too late, even if you get yourself a few more days, you know?
Yeah, you know, I understand, son. But again, you know, they're talking about all the dirty cities like Glasgow, all the bins, the bags outside. We've all got bags and bins outside always.
Aye.
The bin men come often. Okay, the bin men has changed their mind. They're not going to strike. That's cool.
Is that right? Is that all sorted tonight?
Yes, it's sorted.
Good for the bin men. I'm a big fan of the bin men.
It's all mad. Of course I am. I mean, don't forget, it's got to take you to the week.
I mean, I make sure not to keep them back, but I love a chat with the bin men, you know.
Of course. You know, even the trains have stopped to strike as well. They got a deal.
Aye, that's brilliant. That was very good as well. Good for them.
And so did the bin men, Scottie, so that's okay.
That's okay. That's excellent. So everybody's getting sorted.
Yeah, but Scottie, again, they're talking about back in the street in the future. Scotty, you know that, you know.
No, it's crazy stuff. It's very difficult to clean. What we need is a lot less plastic.
Yes, that's true. Well, I do my plastic. I put it in one bin.
I know, but we need to have a lot less of it, David. You know, we're no needing all that. If you buy tomatoes, you're no needing them wrapped in plastic 10 inches thick that you have to virtually, you know, dynamite your way into the packet.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Again, even back to
I mean, most of these I can't open them. I have to get a sharp knife to open them. I can't open a packet of biscuits. You have to go and get a knife. You think, I've been 10 minutes when somebody says, just pull the wee tab. Right, you do it, smarty pants.
I was trying to open biscuits tonight, actually.
Murder.
I couldn't actually open the plastic.
And see, when wee Clyde the Labrador was alive, you know, I tried to open stuff on the fly because he was upstairs kipping on the bed, and then you would hear thud, and he would appear beside you.
Yeah.
That's him going, is somebody opening biscuits down there? I heard that.
Oh, wow. Oh, it's mad.
Oh, jeez, oh.
It's crazy. Again, Edward, a few nights ago, he was a wonderful person.
What a lovely guy he is.
Yeah. Oh,
amazing.
Wow. I mean, he makes sense about depression, you know, how to just fix it out, you know, and I get all that. You know, you just got up and go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, everybody loved Edward the other night. I hope he phones in again.
Yes, well, Edward, if you're listening, phone in tonight.
Phone in for a chat because everybody loves you. Everybody in Scottie McClue land absolutely loves you.
Matey boy, calm down. Matey boy, listen, Matey boy, can you hear me? I loved you, but in the past you would be a bit upset.
Aye, it was over the top. Aye. Absolutely. It was very interesting the other night talking about the organ pipes.
He was calming right down.
Calm down. Now, that's what people need to do. They need to calm down. David, you're going to be even more famous, son, because we're on Twitter tonight. We've added Twitter. Do you have a Twitter account?
Well, John has. Yeah.
John has. Well, tell John to go on to @Scottie McClue on Twitter and follow me and tell me what he thinks of the show on Twitter.
Right, that's cool then. Oh, that's amazing. You mean?
So that's us starting the expansion, Davey.
Right, that's cool.
You know?
Scott, as I said, you know, this is not a radio, this is just internet, and it's amazing.
It's just incredible, just what we've done. We're into our 7th week.
It's amazing, Scott. As I said, I was really busy. I was buying new furniture for the house.
No, listen, Davey, you never, ever, ever have to justify anything. Nobody on Scottie McClue's internet ever has to apologise or justify themselves, unless they've been very cheeky, you know.
Oh, yes, of course.
But no, you don't need to. No, we're all the same on here, and it's just lovely to hear you.
Aye, and also I love Dean.
Oh, wow.
Oh, see her stories. Dean, can you hear me, Dean? Come on the phone.
Get on, absolutely. We love her. Fantastic. David, wait, I've got to tell you this. When we're talking about, you know, coming on when it suits you and that stuff, I had a pal and his granny used to say to them, they would say, Granny, we might come up and see you on Sunday afternoon. And she used to say, well, if you do come up, we'll be very pleased to see you. And if you don't come up, we'll be just as pleased.
It's wonderful, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Scottish grannies.
Scottish granny. Scott, I'll take you back. I remember years ago when it came to your old mum, my mum who's died years ago. Do you see what she in the sink?
They did what? Oh, aye, they had a wash of the sink. They didn't have a bath. Oh, no. I'll get a good wash of the sink, son. And they put the flannel on. And they put a wee bit of warm water on the sink. And then they got a wee bit of carbolic soap in the flannel and gave themselves a right good dish round.
I mean, in the days, the sinks are actually bigger.
Aye. And they were fine. They smelled as fresh as a daisy in those days, you know. They smell a wee bit different because there was a lot more meat eaten. So you had that slightly sharper smell off people in these days. And also the big smokers with pipes and things.
Yes, that's great, Scotty. Do you know what I mean? And then they had the bone comb out because you had nits in your hair.
Aye, the wee nitty comb and the Lysol.
And you had the bone comb, the Triaderm shampoo.
And they used to say, sit still, son, and keep your head still for a minute till I see what's going on here.
Amazing, son.
And then they would say, I'm going to put the shed back in your hair, you're fine.
Brilliant, Scotty. Right, you get next call. Dinky-Doo.
You take care, Dinky-Doo. Love to you and John. Dinky-Doo, la.
Love you, Scotty.
Love you, Davey. Night-night. Ta-ra-la. Top man. That's our David. What a wonderful call. You're live on Scotty's phone in. You're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Hello there, Scotty. Alex Robertson again.
Alex, how lovely to hear from you. One of our finest Scottish actors.
It's a pleasure to be back on your
Well, in
show.
fact, I'm not going to say finest Scottish actors. Finest actors.
Thank you so very much.
Yes,
So nice of
because you might want to work internationally. You might go on to Hollywood.
Well, I had quite a few offers this year, but I'd rather use my own native tongue.
I know what you mean. Well, you'll get plenty of use for it on here, I'll tell you.
Oh, I know, and I wanted to say something. I was listening there. Basically, Edward, do phone back, because Scotty would like to hear from you.
Yes.
I'm sure that was who it was. Yes, Edward was to phone back, remember. Or Eddie, whatever his name was. I just think...
Edward. No, it was definitely Edward, I think. I don't think...
Yes, Edward.
I don't think we called him Ed or Eddie or anything. It was definitely Edward, and his call was outstanding.
Yeah, well, I think all the calls are outstanding. I've been listening for a long time. I mean, but still gaming pause.
Oh, wow, Alex. That is a big, big compliment indeed. Somebody was telling me recently, they said, you, Scottie McClue, were the original inspiration for Still Game.
Oh, were you?
Well, I don't know. I mean, this was what somebody said to me, you know.
Well, if you were, I owe you a bottle. I don't think you drink, so if you did drink, I'd buy a bottle, because obviously I've been in that 3 times.
You have.
Playing the same character.
I'll tell you, Alex, it's a great show, though.
You know, I've been lucky in my life that being my own sort of representative.
Yes.
Put it that way. And you understand what I'm talking about. Basically, I 18 years old, I got myself, you know, on rap scene with a one line.
Yes.
You know, just play, you know, as a bus conductor. And I had been ill 3 years before that, with brain surgery.
Gosh.
So for me, it was like I wanted to keep going. And I was in a double act, but a double act partner was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I was like, but we were doing that since we were like 14 years old or something. And I just thought, I really want to keep doing the double act because I was the sort of Eric Morecambe.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
And at the time I didn't wear glasses, now I do. And I think that's why, because I used to wear any glasses just fitted me. So that my sort of, you know, I could do the old Eric Morecambe.
Wonderful, but Alex, that's the thing, and it all depends on you never know what's happening. Things move on all the time.
They always do, and they come back. It's like the ABBA and all this. Now ABBA's starting to go back, but well, I don't want to run them down, obviously, but there's a concert, and everyone's buying tickets. But
yes,
I think the show is, it's not them live, it's all video.
And the big buzz in the industry is that Scottie McClue is back on the internet.
Well, that's the big thing. I had about Twitter, so I'm on Twitter, so I need to get you added.
Have a wee look on there, yes, at Scottie McClue, Alex.
I just wanted to say one thing that it might be very controversial, and I don't like to be controversial, especially when we're going to do pantomime. I'm not going to say that I remember as a child, at Bonfire Night, And
Yes.
I remember very young watching the squibs, as they call them.
The squibs,
And,
that's it.
yeah, the squibs and everything get out the back door. And we had a dog, and that dog didn't bother. It didn't, honestly, I would come out and sit and watch.
Ah,
And then even the older I got, we always had pets in our family. And anytime, even outside my granny's back door, the dog didn't bother. They came out and sat and watched and would now lift. I'm doing it now. You can't see me, but lift their heads up to the sky.
yes,
When the rockets went off,
yes.
and wondered, oh, what's that? And but now it seems that I understand that dogs and pets get scared, but I don't know why years ago they didn't. But now they seem to.
Well, I think they did years ago. The only thing is there was probably a lot more street noise years ago.
All right. Okay.
You see, and the other thing is that dogs, I mean, you get dogs that go shooting, so they're used to loud bangs happening beside them, and a dog's ears are very sensitive.
But I'm just saying, Scotty, I'm not being controversial whatsoever. I'm just saying that I feel that I remember years ago that happening, and then my cat, my cat's now passed away 2 years, and I had to take it to get it down. But I had to put it down. It was 17 stone. It was too heavy. So what happened was, sorry, I have to throw an old joke.
Well, a lovely old joke there, absolutely.
I know one of those basically, no, I had to 2 years ago, but 2 years or 3 years before, it was always at my window, and there was a big display in Paisley.
Ah, yes.
Right,
yes, Paisley used to do good displays, yes.
And it was right near where I live, and bang, 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 and I was the one going, oh, God.
Was that in the Barshaw Park?
No, I think it was there before, but now it was now in the town centre, and it was all electric, so that.
Right, yes, in at the town hall.
Yeah, so then at town hall, so my cat used to just sit in the window and watch them.
Aye.
And I thought, but the cat died, had to be put down at 19.
God.
But when it was 17, 18, 19, it still sat there watching, and that's where I don't understand it, because I've never had an animal that lived in my house that never knew or was that scared of fireworks.
Interesting. Alex, I'm going to put this.
I'm not being rude.
No, you're not. You're not. Of course you're not. No, I'm going to put this out to the people and see what the comments are on this.
It's not in a bad way,
No, it's not in a bad way. Don't give it a thought. It's just a very interesting point. No, you're the genuine article, Alex.
When I was younger, it just used to seem fine, and then up until 2019, even the cat must have been used to it.
Yes.
Because it was 19 years old. I don't know. And plus, the cat used to go out on its own and do what it did.
Aye, well, cats do that. They do that, don't they?
I had a dog that was in the house all the time until you took it a walk.
Absolutely.
Or let it out in the back garden.
Let me put this out to the nation, and we will see what is what.
I'm only asking. I'm not saying.
No. Listen, it's a very good point. Let me put it out, and we'll see.
I've seen dogs
on the
internet that are shaking.
Yes. Well, I've had it. I mean, my dog's very, very brave, but they knocked over a table one night trying to get behind it.
Oh, you didn't get good Scotch.
Aye, when I was down in Manchester, so I mean, I've seen it firsthand, but that was really like a war zone,
Oh, I can understand,
because it was just so heavily populated, and everybody letting off fireworks at the one time.
Isn't it built up areas that are more?
Yes.
Like say Glasgow, for example, has got maybe a big display going on, but there's also 100 and.
Aye, and displays usually charge money, and people don't have money for it.
But maybe 100,000 folk in the same area in Glasgow.
Yes.
Setting off their fireworks at the same time.
Exactly.
And it might be more that where you live. I used to live in Johnston.
Yes. That's a nice part of the world.
You know the actress Phyllis Logan.
Phyllis, yes.
She used to actually go to school with my mother. My mum sadly passed away. But
outstanding actress.
There's a place called, not just Johnston. She always used to say, I'm from Renfrewshire. No, Johnston Castle. That's when I
know exactly where you are. The houses round the castle. I know it very well.
I grew up there my whole life, and I loved there. And I want to maybe go back now. I've only moved away for 4 years.
Fantastic. Well, you might want to get back to your roots. You see, Alex, I'm going to dash. You take great care of yourself.
Can I finish off by saying this? That basically then I think that wasn't as populated as like Glasgow is.
No.
Or Paisley is. You know, I think Johnston Castle, for example, we all did our own.
Yes.
And we built our own fireworks as kids. Like, not fireworks, sorry. Our own bonfire.
Yes.
You used to chap everyone's door asking for, bits of wood, anything they had to burn.
And a penny for the guy.
Yeah, and all that, and I used to enjoy that.
It's wonderful. Right, let me go and see whatever it is saying to Alex.
Quickly.
No, I'll need to dash.
I got a friend request from you yesterday.
And what's that? Oh, I ignore that. The Facebook's been hacked.
I have. There's a few people tonight saying that to me.
No, completely ignore that, and certainly never ever send any money. I don't put out Facebook requests.
No, I knew that. So that's why because I've got your account, I can contact you, and that's why I sent you and picture of it.
No, just ignore that, Alex.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to Falkirk, as I said. So
you'll be wonderful. You're a star. Hey, and DINKY-DOO.
DINKY-DOO, and I shall speak to you soon, Scottie.
Excellent. Top man, I look forward to it. There we are. That's our Alex, one of our top actors, and he's in the pantomime in Falkirk. So look out for that. Which meteorites, Scottie? What have we got here? Travelling from the outskirts into town. The buses are infrequent. Scottie, it's yin and yang. It will be a big funeral for Walter Smith outside Ibrox, says Angela. There we are, DINKY-DOO. Now, who else have we got here? Hang on. You're live at Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
DINKY-DOO, Scottie.
Ah, Glenn. How lovely to hear from you.
How's it going?
Oh, wonderful. It was good to hear Alex there, but I was having to get on because time's tight.
Definitely. You're not on long enough, are you, Scottie?
What's that, Glenn?
You're not on long enough, really, are you, to be honest?
No, well, did you hear me say we've added Twitter?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, have you got a Twitter account, Glenn?
I have, of course I have, yes. Scottie.
Right, and have you followed us?
I will do, yeah.
Will do. Follow us and tell me what you're seeing when you're on there. That would be appreciated.
I'll have a butcher's letter, Scottie.
Wonderful. Have a quick butcher's love. Good to hear that one again.
You've got Mrs. Brown has been on tonight, hasn't he, Scottie?
Who's been on tonight?
Mrs. Brown. Brendan O'Carroll. Mrs. Brown's boys.
Oh, Mrs. Brown's boys. Yeah, absolutely, yes.
I haven't watched it yet. I were going to watch it, but you know that way you're missing about with other platforms.
Oh, wonderful stuff. We love that.
I'll watch it on catch up or something, Scottie.
Yeah, we like it. Good. It's good quality stuff.
He's a brilliant all-round comedian, Scottie.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic stuff.
I could have seen you as one of his relatives, Scottie.
Yes, absolutely. I could have been a relative there now, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, Mrs. Brown. How are you?
Yes, absolutely brilliant, Scottie.
Louise is saying she watched it. It was very funny.
I think it's his 10th year anniversary, apparently.
Right. 20th. 20th.
Yeah.
20th. Wow, that is amazing. Tonight at 9:30, Mrs. Brown's Boys. Yes, indeed.
When it first started, Scottie, they played different roles in it.
Yep, they did. I remember that. But I also loved the sort of theatre side of it. You know, when you saw the lights and things.
Yeah. Nothing. It just put it as it is.
Yeah, absolutely. We love all that.
I mean, credit to the guy in it and credit to your organisation, to be honest. I set all that up.
Tremendous. Wonderful stuff.
I don't like stage comedy though, Scotty, to be honest.
Yeah. Yes, I do. I mean, well, Dad's Army, you see, Dad's Army, they were all theatre actors.
Yeah.
And if you can hold the audience spellbound.
I mean, when they get the old archives back, when it first started in Technicolor black and white, Scotty, and all that, it's like hidden footage.
Now you're talking when you see, although see when you see early television, some of it's amazing. I mean, you look at Z-Cars. Z-Cars was live.
Yeah.
You know, they used to, that's actors doing a television live.
Is that the Z-Cars thing from what they play at the Everton game, Scotty? Isn't it?
It's that good. Da 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 da. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Wonderful.
Great tune.
Who have we got here? Kirby the Annihilator says, the oasis of humanity in the desert of depravity. How do you do, Mr. McClue?
Brilliant stuff, isn't it?
Is that beautiful? Out in America there. Do you know what I mean? I love it. Yeah. We're absolutely international.
There are a few hours in front of us anyway in America anyway, aren't they?
A few hours behind, I would say. I think, are they not?
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're about, is it not 5 hours behind? So wait a minute. They'll be having their supper now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have your supper anytime, really, Scotty, can't you?
Well, you can. I mean, I don't. It's very strange when people say, right, that's lunch. You think, well, we're not actually hungry.
And 11s and all that.
11 says, yeah, do you want just maybe a sandwich and a biscuit?
You can eat anytime you feel like it.
Well, you can, but I mean, you see, when I was little, my mum used to make us the full breakfast.
Yeah.
Then somebody would get peckish about 11 saying, do you fancy a bacon roll?
And then it's a hangover meal that now, isn't it?
You know, and then lunch, you know, a big plate of Scotch broth.
Yeah.
And a plate of mince and potatoes and some steamed pudding and custard.
Beautiful.
I mean, I don't know how we were able to walk. What about this? Coronation Street was live when it first started, starring the young Kenneth Barlow.
He's been good. Is it 60-something years this year, Scotty, apparently? William Roach.
Yeah, wow. That'll be about right. That's amazing.
No, it's correct. Even June Brown in EastEnders.
June, fantastic. Yeah, she knows Scottie McClue.
Yeah, brilliant actress.
Good evening, Scotty. The Argyle cap suits you, says Chris in America.
We changed the clocks this weekend, Scotty, don't we?
Hey, we do. So that'll be changing the times for next week for the phone in, Glenn.
Yeah. Scotty, you pull in the chain there,
what about that?
Do we go back an hour? We do, don't we?
No. We go, yes, spring forward, fall back. So we go back an hour. So that will make for a bit of a change.
Definitely.
You know?
Summertime.
So you won't be going to your bed at 10 o'clock at night. You'll be going at 9 o'clock effectively. Isn't that right?
Yeah. And the phone in will be at 9 o'clock, but they won't be, obviously.
Well, it'll be on at 8 o'clock. Is that right? Yeah, but it will be 9 o'clock on your clock, if you know what I mean.
You should come on and confuse people at that time.
Oh, no, don't start that.
It's got to get the phone in going at 1 o'clock.
You can't beat the old school meals, says Louise. Glenn, I'm going to dash and see who's about. You take care, La.
Scotty, what's your favourite dessert then?
I think the steamed pudding and custard or the apple crumble.
Or the spotted...
the spotted dick, yes, very good. The spotted dick, you can't beat that. Or what about the Bakewell tart?
Jam roly-poly.
The jam roly-poly, love.
Yeah. Or the traditional savoury deal, Scotty.
Yeah, all that stuff. The brandy snaps, the knickerbocker glory.
The toad in the hole, Scotty, a bit of sausage.
Toad in the hole, you can't beat it. Lovely stuff. Hated the rice pudding, says Richard.
You can make your own rice pudding though, can't you?
Well, you can actually. Have you ever heard of tapioca?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of sago?
I can't say I've got
there's one for you. Glenn, I'm going to dash Dinky-Doo, La.
Dinky-Doo, Scotty.
Love you lots. Top man. Top man. Dinky-Doo, La. Right, to the telephones as quickly as possible, guys. We're very, very, very busy tonight. Was you on a radio station? I was on 35 radio stations. There we are. Probably soon going to be on more again. Dinky-Doo, says Aidan. Dinky-Doo, Aidan. We're live on Scottie's Phone In. Hang on a second. You're live on Scottie's Phone In. Who's that? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? There we are. They obviously can't. Fair enough. Give us a call back, guys. There's Jack saying Dinky-Doo. Dinky-Doo, Jack. Hello, Scottie. Hello. SCOTTIE, Jack. That's the one. Right. We seem to have missed that call. Here it comes again. You're live on Scottie's Phone In. Who's that? Martin. How are you, Lala?
How you doing, Lala?
Where have you been, Lala? We missed you tonight.
Because I couldn't get through because we've been very, very busy tonight.
Very, very busy tonight, Martin. Absolutely, but fantastic. You know, we're now on Twitter as well.
Lovely. Oh, you can't shove your granny off of us.
Oh, you can't shove your granny off of us. No. Fantastic.
Plus, there's another song called the Jelly Piece song as well.
The Jelly Piece song, yes. You can't throw pieces out a 20-story flat.
Yes, I just actually love that song. Someday we can have a sing song on into the phone in this.
Well, no, we can't, you see, because we would be copyrighted.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so we'd have a problem.
So how's your night been? Good?
Gorgeous night tonight. Fantastic. Very, very busy.
Tomorrow's Halloween.
Halloween is it not Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday, yeah.
But I think a lot of people will be doing it tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Yes,
cool.
That's the one night of the year I don't have to dress up. I like it.
Cool. So what else has been happening?
Well, that's kind of it, Martin. You know, that's you up to date.
Yeah. So how's your new Twitter account getting on?
My new?
Twitter account.
Oh, the Twitter account. Well, we'll find out later, but it's certainly been a very good night tonight.
Shout out to Dee and shout out to Susan as well.
Shout out to Dee and to Susan. Absolutely.
Susan's not on tonight. She's away to a hen party, so she is back on Monday.
Yes. You're no on Twitter, says Eddie. So there you go.
Yes.
Love, Semolina.
I'll phone you tomorrow at 10.
Tomorrow at 10. Dinky-Doo.
Okay. Thank you, dear. Love you. Bye.
Lovely to hear you. Ta-ra-la. There we are. That's our Martin. Wonderful stuff. Now then, who have we got here? I'm just having a wee look to see what's happening here. Eddie Howe. This show is drivel new, was good 25 years ago. Eddie Howe, I don't think we want you on here. I think you're drivel new. This is far better than it was 25 years ago. Just home, too late to call you with my wee ghost story for Halloween. Maybe tomorrow, that would be great, Neil. Dinky-Doo, Scottie Law. Eddie says, Eddie, I don't think we like you on here. I think we'll dump you. We'll put you in time out. There we are. That's what we'll do with you. Because that's not very nice. You don't sound very nice. Anyone watch Alex Belfield, they're asking? Yes, I had to pull Alex up because he was checking up about Scotland. So there we are. Dinky-Doo, lovely to have you all with us. What have we got here? Chipboard's heavy. I don't think it was the 1960s. No, it was definitely chipboard. I think you're thinking of blockboard. That's much heavier. Chipboard was lighter. I had a brown Royal Mail coach, says Andrew. Fantastic. We're talking about the railways. Now you're talking the wonderful Dee Gourley. Lovely to have you here. Alex says, as an actor, I think of the theatre first, which is the way forward for actors. TV comes later, just need to learn the trade first. There we go. Old school coconut cake. Murray's not on Twitter, he says. Or am I not on Twitter? Dinky-Doo, are you in still game? I'm not, Aidan, sadly. So there you are. Guys, we're out of time. Going to have to dash. Dinky-Doo and Taralas. Wonderful. That's what it's all about. Join us tomorrow night, that's Saturday night at 10 o'clock sharp. Be there or be square. Until then, this is Scottie McClue saying have a wonderful night. Stay fabulous. Dinky-Doo and ta-ra, lads.